Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the announcement of the ULI Hines Competition 2021 winner. Please be advised that we are recording all the events today, and we will make the recordings available to the public later. So if you are not speaking, please make sure you are muted. Please make sure you are off video. The audience today consists of 20 students on the 4 finalist teams and their advisors, 16 members of the competition jury, members of the Hines senior leadership team, and a handful of ULI leadership and staff, and ULI members in Kansas City, including 6 members of the rehearsal jury. So let's begin. I would like to welcome and introduce Ed Walter, Global CEO of the Urban Land Institute. Ed brings to ULI more than 35 years of management experience in the real estate profession across a variety of disciplines, including hotels, multifamily, and land development, with a strong emphasis on capital markets and investments. He has a long list of additional accomplishments, which I will let you explore by visiting his bio on our website. Ed, thank you so much for being here, and please proceed.
Well, thank you, Gretchen, and thank you for not embarrassing me by going through the entire bio that we have created, because it's a little bit overly long. So good evening and welcome, everybody. I'm coming to you today from my home just outside of Washington, D.C., which is also the base for ULI's global headquarters. Most of you know that ULI is a global nonprofit real estate organization. We are the oldest and largest network of cross-disciplinary real estate and land use experts in the world. And today we have more than 45,000 members worldwide. ULI brings together leaders from across the many fields related to real estate and land use policy to exchange best practices and serve community needs. Prior to arriving at ULI, I served as the Steers Chair in Real Estate at Georgetown University's McDonough School of Business. And I continue to lecture at Georgetown, so I know firsthand the value of practical, interdisciplinary experiences like this one. And I commend all of you for the creativity and hard work that has brought you to this final stage of the competition. I wish I were welcoming you to Kansas City today. Instead, I am welcoming you in this new world where we must connect through technology to ensure our businesses survive and thrive. However, where the pandemic introduced constraints, technology also gave us new opportunities. In this year, where most teams are working separately from one another, a growing number of teams formed from students enrolled at different schools and studying in different cities and countries, including one team working together across continents. And 2 such teams, with members from no less than 3 schools, made it all the way to the finals. You are clearly creating bridges not only between disciplines, but also among institutions, places, and cultures. The work you presented today serves as an example of how all of us must be flexible and resilient in the face of adversity. If you continue to cultivate that readiness, it will help you identify and capitalize on opportunities to succeed now and in the future. Here at ULI, we are embracing new ways for members to connect and share best practices globally online. We hope you will turn to ULI as a source of support during school and upon graduation. We offer resources and a network that can help you clarify and accelerate your career goals. ULI members have immediate access to industry experts, timely information, and cutting-edge research, essential for making informed decisions. Through countless market cycles, natural disasters, unforeseen crises, ULI members have been there to help each other make sense of events and forge new strategies to adapt for the future. Our members, including the members of the jury today, donate their time, talent, and resources to help our communities find solutions to their most challenging problems and rebuild stronger and more resiliently for tomorrow. We welcome you to this network of problem solvers and thought leaders and look forward to seeing how you will contribute more in the future. Speaking of our incredible members, we are here today because of one member in particular. This competition exists due to the vision and generosity of Gerald Hines, an industry legend and a ULI member from 1960 until his passing last year. Jerry was the chairman of the Hines Real Estate Organization, which he founded in Houston over 60 years ago. We miss him greatly and are forever indebted to him for his support of ULI and for creating this competition. We are particularly delighted that his son, Jeff Hines, chairman and CEO of the firm, is joining us today to say a few words. Jeff, welcome, and I'll turn the stage over to you.
Thank you, Ed. It is my pleasure to join you this evening. This competition started in 2003 when ULI recognized Dad's extraordinary contributions to real estate by presenting him with the Institute's top prize for visionaries in urban development. He declined the prize money and asked that ULI use the funds, along with his own generous contribution, to create this competition. Dad felt so strongly about the importance of the competition and keeping it going that he subsequently endowed the program in perpetuity. His vision for the competition was clear. While design plays a critical part, the competition should encompass more than design. It must include a significant development and financial component. The competition should require a team effort with members representing a mix of disciplines across design and business. And probably of critical importance to the students, the cash prize should be substantial. $50,000 to the winning team and $10,000 each to the three remaining finalist teams. As a student, a benefit of making it to the finals is that you've already won part of the prize purse. These components have made this competition one of the most successful graduate student competitions in the country, one that challenges students in ways few others do. And with the pandemic adding an extra layer of difficulty to collaborating, this year's event is truly a notable one. Congratulations to each of the finalist teams and best of luck. Now I'm going to turn this over to Diana Reid to introduce the competition jury and the rehearsal jury. Diana is a ULI trustee and chair of this year's competition jury. She is an independent director of Welltower Inc., an S&P 500 company, and she also chairs one of the ULI Urban Development Mixed Use Councils. Diana, thank you for your contributions to this year's competition and welcome. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Jeff, for your generous support and the leadership from Hines over the almost 2 decades of this competition. Serving on this jury has been so rewarding for me and for all of the jurors. It's invigorating to see firsthand the tremendous design, urban planning, sustainability, and financial expertise from all of the university students. They are the future of our industry, and for me, I am inspired and have confidence that the future of our cities is in very capable hands. I'd like to thank the 6-member rehearsal jury to whom the students presented a few weeks ago, gaining some local expertise and feedback before today's presentations. So thank you so much to Leah Fitzgerald, Robert Gray, Shalonda Holmes, Alyssa Parsons, Jason Romero, and Jeffrey Williams. Thank you for serving as our rehearsal jury this year. And of course, a big thank you to the 16-member competition jury, who have dedicated a significant amount of time, and I must say had a lot of fun, reviewing the 105 submissions from over 61 university teams, selected today's finalists, and today have now identified the winning proposal. The jury has spent time reviewing each team's presentation in detail, and we've had quite lively debates this week and last month about the strengths of each of the finalist proposals, as well as where they could be improved. And we do have a decision. For the final part of the program, and before I announce the winner, we would like to provide each team with feedback on their proposal. And we're going to go in no particular order, and one juror will provide the aggregate comments for each of the finalist teams. And a reminder of the brief. The city was seeking a catalytic vision for the area that will have a positive economic impact, both locally and regionally, while increasing the sustainability and resilience of the study area, surrounding neighborhoods, and the city at large. And we will say that all of the finalists did a fantastic job in meeting that brief for the city, and we thank you again. So in no particular order, we will provide feedback from Lynn Carlton, one of our jurors, and also in Kansas City, will provide comments to the Georgia Institute of Technology team for their proposal, Catalyst.
Thank you, Diana. I just want to say, yes, as an educational piece of this, we're excited to be able to provide the criticism, but constructive criticism, but also the positive aspects. To start on the constructive criticism side, for Catalyst, there was a desire for an educational component on how you'll encourage people to eat more non-traditional food. I'm seeing as Kansas City, you certainly did research on understanding the history, but also a desire for more information to address food insecurity. There could have been an opportunity to take the concept deeper. The execution did not quite live up to the concept that was so bold at the beginning. You could handle a little bit more density on the site. The discussion on sustainability could have gone a little bit deeper and taken the next step to talk about corporate connectivity to the universities. There was a question on vertical phasing on the existing buildings. Certainly a note that that's an extremely hard thing to pull off and to do on several blocks out of 3 out of the 8 blocks. However, it is more environmentally sustainable to continue with the existing buildings. And would have benefited a little bit more for physical and spatial integration. And lastly, constructive piece is to always stay focused on the benefits of your plan and not discuss or dismiss other ideas. On the positive side, the teamwork was in the very beginning. The guiding principles and process really stood out. You had clearly done a lot of research and investigation. You looked to the roots of Kansas City and were very thoughtful about bringing that theme into every aspect of your proposal. You had a great grasp on economic feasibility and have a realistic financing plan that was very solid. You stretched the affordable housing goal up to the 35%. And we really liked the intergenerational piece and your addressing of food waste. We appreciated the combination of a neighborhood and a scalable incubator concept. With food technology and history, it gives so many options to making it successful. And lastly, the jury felt very much that this was unique to Kansas City. Nice job.
So my name is Steve Kennett. I am one of the jurors, and I have the privilege to explain the Eviro project, which was one of 2 ballparks that we had the privilege to review today. And the team did a great job on this. So there was a lot of advancement in the design of the project since the earlier round. So we're grateful to the team for not leaving anything on the field, so to speak, right? The legacy of baseball in Kansas City is really, really strong. And while that could have been developed just a little bit more, it might have left as a little bit of a missed opportunity, especially with the Monarchs and the history of the Negro League. The park itself is really well done. So we shared some questions about how the park is serviced and associated with deliveries and trash removal and parking, things like that. But you really advanced the architecture of the ballpark and of the surrounding buildings. And that really brought the entire concept up to the level of this really strong, big idea that you all shared a couple of months ago. There was a good understanding of the site, understanding the topography across the site, great understanding of how people arrive at the ballpark, and how traffic enlivens the street and the plaza, and how that develops the balance of the site as a transit-oriented development. So the development of the program and distributed parking serves a variety of uses and not just the ballpark. We did have a couple of questions about the specific angle of the plaza, which was informed by Home Street. But it works really well to open up the plaza on game days, and probably one of the best projects that we saw in developing the public realm. So we could really see how these spaces would be activated year round with farmers markets, retail opportunities, and even a couple of bars and breweries. The financing strategy could have been advanced a little bit further with the use of some more tools, potentially including the funding of the ballpark itself, which is something that was kind of left to the private side, as opposed to municipal bonds or sales tax or something like that. The integration of the grocery store and other amenities into the neighborhood was great. So it's a strong base to build the whole neighborhood, not just a ballpark and some housing next door. So, and then lastly, it was really one of the strongest projects that we saw with an effort and commitment towards sustainability, incorporating energy, stormwater management, understanding the topography, and the move to address the AIA 2030 goals, and actually a whole net zero project really impressed the jury.
Hi, everyone. It's Kona Gray. I'm a land planner, landscape architect, and urban designer with EDSA Incorporated and based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I really love this competition because it really demonstrates how we all collaborate as real estate development professionals in the creation of the built environment. We had a very healthy conversation with the jury today, and all of you did fantastic. So I'm going to start with some constructive criticism for Fusion. We weren't sure how you were going to fund the public spaces beyond the TIF. There were, it almost seemed like there were too many public open spaces, and saying that as a landscape architect is challenging for me. We also noted that there could have been a little bit more emphasis placed on how those spaces would be managed and actually operated and funded or programmed. One of our jurors didn't feel as though it came across as a neighborhood, thought that there wasn't a major draw to bring others in from the outside. We thought that some of the graphics could have been completed a little bit better. And then also just opening a rec center and grocery store maybe provided a little bit of competition for other similar uses in the area. And then there was also a lot of conversation about stormwater, but some of the jury members felt that left out more information about energy use. And finally, on the constructive criticism, we also thought that you could have leveraged more of the financial sources in your capital stack. Now, on the positive side, you did provide us a catalyst vision that we thought was actually on steroids. We loved it. We felt like it was a more complete vision that felt like Kansas City. You certainly did a great job telling their story about how people would live here. We liked the whole aspect of housing being closer to transit as well. There was a very strong graphic representation throughout the entire project, and that there was a good sort of multi-generational mix of use for different residences throughout the entire project. The emphasis on AMI 50% was very ambitious, but we were very happy to see that. You also put a lot of effort into a very thorough transit and mobility connectivity attitude as well. And you pushed the paradigm or way of life based on agriculture, which is something that we thought was very helpful. I think finally, the capital stack, which kept coming up as part of this development process, was very well done. And part of this was extremely unique, where you had 15% equity and community partnerships, and you looked at several other groups that would come together to make this fantastic and work well from a financial standpoint. And one of our local jurors noted that you mentioned in regards to Kansas City being the city of fountains, and that really resonated, and also touched on the whole aspect of how important water is in this part of the world. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I am Geeti Silwal. I am an urban design principal in Perkins & Will, San Francisco office. And I want to start by saying that we've learned so much and been so impressed by all the entries. So kudos to all of you for all your hard work. It's been really, really heartening to see such beautiful ideas come forth. I want to start by kind of sharing some of the constructive criticism for the home-based team. You guys definitely pushed the envelope and kind of really looked for a huge catalytic kind of move for Kansas City. Some of the questions that were coming up for the jury as they were debating is the phasing, and they felt that the phasing felt backwards. If we are asking for the Royals to take a financial risk and kind of put in private money, does it make sense for the stadium to be built in the earlier phase? 2 years before the stadium, it felt there was a concern there. There was definitely also a question and discussion around the equity angle of this project. There seemed to be a focus on luxury hotels and housing, and felt challenging in terms of really balancing the equity equation that you all had very eloquently talked about in the beginning. The third thing was about the housing. It felt like the housing development to the north was the lower income, and this luxury housing were to the south and facing the ballpark. It felt a bit segregated in the jury's mind. And with so much development and so much investment, the affordable housing equation or percentage of 20% felt lower than what the other submissions were pushing for. You had a really great ideas around really incorporating and working with the organizations, the community-based organization around for a sustainable community to really anchor your assembly. However, the jury felt the sustainability ideas weren't completely flushed out, and there could have been way more that could have been pushed to really have more sustainable strategies and higher targets for the development. The last aspect was really thinking about the footprint of the ballpark. It felt like there was a lot of land capital that was invested in this footprint, and the ballpark size had shrunk in its number of seats that it was offering from its current state location, but it was occupying a pretty large area of downtown. And was that the best land value capture with so much investment going on over here? And generally, some of the thoughts that were being shared by the jury members who do a lot of development around ballparks, the trend is towards more steeper rates for seating and a smaller footprint. So that's something that was being discussed as maybe it could have been rethought a little bit. But overall, we were really, really very happy to kind of see how you made the connect and really anchored the whole narrative around the Monarchs and the Negro League and their history. And you had a really elegant narrative on the history of racial segregation, which we know all developments have to have a very intentional focus. We liked your core idea of the 10th Street, making an east-west connect with the downtown and with the Paseo West. So that was really appreciated. And having an anchor kind of an entry along the South Street, that was definitely appreciated. And overall, you definitely had a strong economic catalyst. And we really appreciate you for the kind of push you made in creating such clear graphics and having such great illustrative narrative.
And now it is my tremendous honor to announce the winner. The winner of the 2021 ULI Hines Student Competition is the multi-university team from University of Toronto, Ryerson University, and York University with their proposal Fusion. And I'd like to share with you a few of the comments that the jury had made about why this team is the winner. Fusion presented a complete vision for a new urban neighborhood in Kansas City. Fusion had a strong, comprehensive design concept that is consistent throughout the narratives and the illustrations. The master plan enables economic resilience within Kansas City through small-scale food growth and distribution, local culinary incubation, and research-driven employment opportunities. This food-based approach, paired with a focus on inclusive and sustainable economic growth, created the catalytic vision of this new urban neighborhood, including intergenerational approach, strong pedestrian elements, and connectivity throughout. Also, the proposal was just beautifully presented. It described each element at the site at a high level and in detail with excellent renderings. Fusion had great site analysis, identified prospective types of residents with 30% affordable housing, and it recognized it and adapted to the unique Kansas City topography. The financial proposal is feasible and offers a good mix of funding and financing. The pro forma well thought out, including creative public-private partnerships and tax increment financing. Fusion pushes a new paradigm for urban living based on agriculture and complemented and adding to the ways Kansas City is a great place to live, work, and play. Fusion felt uniquely Kansas City. And so ULI is so honored to name Fusion and its team from the three universities, University of Toronto, Ryerson University, and York University, as the 2021 ULI Hines Student Competition winner. Thank you and congratulations to you. And congratulations to all of the teams for your tremendous effort. And now I'm very pleased to introduce Gwyneth Cote, president of the ULI Americas, with some further comments for all of the finalists. Gwyneth.
Thanks, Diana. What a great day. I really enjoyed listening to your presentations and am so excited for what each of you will bring to the commercial real estate industry. You may recall that I was able to see you off on this journey back in January at the launch webinar. I want to comment that your commitment to your education, going above and beyond your degree requirements to participate in this competition, is truly remarkable. And to the teams who did not win, please be proud of what you've learned and what you've accomplished during this process. ULI and Hines certainly are impressed and pleased to have you joining us in the industry. On that note, we are welcoming you to the ULI family with year-long student memberships. So as you know, the winning team receives $50,000, of which $5,000 goes to their schools. This means each team member receives $9,000. And each of the finalist teams receives $10,000 or $2,000 per person. Also, as we mentioned at the launch webinar, members of one of ULI's product councils, the Urban Development Mixed Use Council, has raised funds to enable at least a few members of the non-winning finalist teams to attend ULI fall meeting and participate in their council session. You will learn more about this opportunity from Gretchen in the weeks ahead. Joining a product council as a guest is a rare opportunity to participate in a private group discussion with real estate and land use leaders. Jerry Hines served on this product council for many years, and this new benefit is the council's tribute to him. Gretchen and Sarah will follow up with each of you to deliver your prize money and memberships. And with that, thank you to everybody for your engagement and your involvement. We are now concluding the 2021 ULI Hines Student Competition. Thank you and have a good evening, everyone.